Hello, everyone, and welcome to Metro Inclusive Health's podcast, Uncut. My name is Pablo, and I'm your host for today. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm a sexual health specialist here at Metro Inclusive Health. And today I have the Blunt Space with us, so thank you for being here.
Hey, Pablo.
Yeah, of course. I'll have you introduce yourselves.
Of course. My name is Cadin Small. I am the Creative Associate Director here at the Blunt Space Incorporated. Oh, and my pronouns are he, him, his. And drag, she, hers.
All right.
Okay, hello. My name is Dominique. I am the Business Operations and HR Specialist for the Blood Space, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
All right, and last but not least, I am Quin Killings, stage name Quin Killin. I am a spoken word artist, creator, and the co-founder of the Blunt Space, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, he, him, his, they, them, theirs.
And I really appreciate all of you coming here today, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Thank you for
us.
having us, Pablo, always. No, we don't have
We do, we have history, we do.
Okay.
And I definitely want to talk about where we're at. So today we're at Inclusivity, coming to you live from Inclusivity, which is Metro's newest venture. So Inclusivity is a tea shop, also a coffee shop, also an adult store, also a HIV testing center. And we have this space here to kind of make these conversations a little easier and to also provide these conversations to our community, uncut and raw. So before we get started though, I do want to do a really cool little mini game if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So the name of the game is Either Or. It's a speed round game. And I'm just going to ask you an either or question and just rapid fire from each of you. We'll start with you and work our way down.
Alright.
Just answer the way you want to answer. So either
I'm
or.
ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Spit or swallow?
Swallow.
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 Cut or uncut?
Cut.
Uncut.
Uncut.
I don't like a hoodie.
And there's also
like
like
it's
no,
hard.
there's like no context with this either. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
you're just going to answer it and we'll take from that.
Okay.
Clothes or no clothes?
Clothes.
No clothes.
No coats.
Pink or purple?
Purple.
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 Romantic or humorous?
Romantic.
Humorous.
Humorous.
Yeah, I'm a clown, so I need to have
I
like,
can be funny for the both of us, okay?
Okay.
ooh, peach or eggplant?
Peach.
Eggplant.
Both of them.
Buffun.
Both for 'em.
Both of them. All of them.
Soft or hard?
Hard.
Hard.
Soft.
Leather or satin?
Satin.
Satin.
Leather.
Of course.
I see, that's a tough one for me too because I love both like leather and satin, but
Yes.
I think I have a leather soul. I need to have leather.
I like to
Yeah.
feel nice. I like to, I like how it feels on.
And it looks pretty too.
It's real
So.
pretty.
Just how it be. Touching everything.
Now this last one, smooth or furry?
Smooth.
Furry. What? It's getting cold out here, so you gotta have something.
Yeah, you're right.
In
So a
Florida.
blanket doesn't
If that
say
even like
anything.
exists in Florida, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a fur and a hoodie. So at this point, best of both worlds.
But I definitely wanted to get this out of the way too because I know it can be a little nerve-wracking to be up here. So just to get the nerves out of the way. But I do want to also get more into the blunt space and what you all do for that and how you can use that for the community. So the first question is, you guys are talking with us about sexual health and prevention today. So what brought you here to this point to be on our podcast with us?
Well, actually, I can answer that. Being, from Metro Inclusive, I used to work with you all like years ago during my freshman year, and it definitely did make a staple with what you all are doing with sexual health and everything. And me being of an artist perspective and also being an educator and activist here at the Blunt Space, we want to make sure it's like this podcast raw and uncut, but we also make sure that people are educated because you got some people out there who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And will spread that misinformation while also, causing dangerous situations to happen. So with that being said, we want to create a raw and unfiltered environment where people are able to enjoy themselves and, talk everything out and be able to like at least have fun with that uncut, raw sensation of education.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with that too, because like I feel our public school system may not be the best when it comes to talking about sexual health. So I think people are trying to find alternative ways to learn more about this. And if it's through art, so be it. Like that's the kind of fun way to make it like fun and understandable too.
Oh, absolutely.
And would any of you feel comfortable sharing more about like your first experience like with getting tested for STIs and HIV?
Actually, I don't mind sharing. The first time, believe it or not, I ever got tested was at the age of 15. My mother took me.
15.
Yeah, she had just found out that I was sexually active. She didn't overreact like most parents did. She's like, okay, well, this is what you're gonna do. This is something that we need to go do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little embarrassed because I'm like, my mother's taking me to go do this. I'm like, okay.
Like, she knows I'm having sex. Ew.
I was like, wait a minute. And it's the really weird way she found out, because you know how the doctors ask, are you sexually active? Ooh. She was in the room with me, and I was just like, yeah. She looked at me like I was crazy. She was like, okay. Thought I was going to get it. But afterward, no. We had a chat about it, and she took me to go get tested the next day. And she just showed me what it looks like. Like, you're going to be an adult. Be an adult. So yeah, that was my first experience.
Okay, well, mine was a little bit, I was a lot older. I was like 20. I went to get my physical at my doctor's office, and I was like, we're just going to go get tested. We're going to get everything done.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that plus PAP same day. So it was very nerve-wracking. And, you know, I was like, I had to talk myself into it. So I was like, if you can't be naked in front of your doctor, you don't deserve to be naked in front of anybody. So you might as well. So like, that's how I could, you know, it's like, let's protect myself. Let me be sexy about, check my status. And I, waiting for the results is crazy. I was like, I know I'm good, but, still waiting for it.
Yeah.
Am I good? I think I am, but am I good? So, it's just good to know and have it.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, I also, whenever I'm testing people too, I have to ask questions like, oh, like in the past 12 months, how many sexual partners have you had? Have you had sex with men or women, or what do they identify as? Like, getting those questions in the hot seat can be very nerve-wracking. So, yeah, even when I still go get tested too, I'm like, ooh,
I've been
doing a lot.
You gotta go through memory, like, dang, I did have sex like last week, but how many people since then?
Yeah.
Like,
Me making my haiku and like counting on my fingers. Which we'll get to that in a bit, y'all, the haikus. So I'm really excited about that.
oh, haiku cheese.
And then in your past experience, like what has talking to your partners about sex, like how has that been like to kind of make it easier? Or even talking about testing with partners, how would you make that easier?
Oh, okay. Everybody's looking at me. Person with partner.
Like, when I say partner too, it doesn't have to be like a serious partner.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be like monogamous. It could also just be a sexual partner because they count as a partner too.
That's true. Well, it's weird. I don't know. It's weird. I can talk about sex to pretty much anybody besides my partner. It's weird. It's very weird. It's very I don't know. Like we do it, but we have to talk about it now. It's different. So. How do I talk? Oh, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Or like, how has your experience been like talking about it? Like to kind of talk about like testing or just talking about sex in general with your partner. How has that been?
I bring it up how I bring up most things, just off rip. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to the doctor to get tested. When's the last time you did that? I'm just checking in on you to make sure you're okay because you're going to the doctor. You're going to get tested.
Yeah.
Are you gonna you're gonna do this? Like, just checking in with him. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Send it to me when you got it.
Yeah.
Right? Just, really simple. I think if you make it a bigger deal than it is, then it's just you're gonna feel like you're walking on eggshells. But actually talking about sex, I need to do better about that and really talk about it with my partner. But I can talk about it with y'all and the internet.
The world.
It's definitely a little bit. Let's just say it gets a little bit awkward considering the fact is, at least when it comes to especially people who are bisexual, pansexual, people who are LGBTQ, and you have partners that are same sex and opposite gender of the sort, it gets a little bit tricky sometimes because for people who are LGBTQ, it's like a number one priority because of course the HIV epidemic and everything that happened, and you want to make sure that you are having that safer sex. Versus when I have sex with opposite sex people, it's heteronormative. Thank you. It becomes a little bit, how can I say this? Immature. Like, hey, did you get tested? I'm not dirty. And it's like, it's not about being dirty. I want to make sure, well, I didn't sleep with nobody. It's about the fact is, I want to make sure you're safe. You might know what you got, but I don't know what you have. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not your medical provider.
My favorite one.
Make sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt
you.
Yeah, that was what I said. My favorite one is, I'm good. You good? I'm good. You good?
Ciao.
If you get tested and your results come back negative, if you're good, that should be good. It's like, no, that's not how this works.
Or when they get tested, it's just like, I mean, I'm good. I'm like, but can you give me the papers? Oh, they didn't give me papers. I know they gave you papers. Like, come on, like, just share. It gets a little bit to the point where people become embarrassed, as if asking to be tested is a sign that, oh, I think that,
I suspect something of you.
Yes.
Or like
that gets
really
a negative
trust you like that.
connotation
Yeah.
when it's just the fact is we want to make sure that you're safe, whether it be as something as, serious and, HIV, or as something as common as chlamydia or anything of that sort, any and everything, even if it's a bacterial infection, you want to make sure that you are safe because your body is your temple.
Yeah, that, and then also like when it comes to testing, we also, I think it's a little easier to kind of rip the Band-Aid from ourselves. Like if we present our status first, like if we are like, oh, well, here's my results, like what are yours? Because they might be more willing to share their information with you if you give them something first. And on top of that too, also if people use the term like dirty or clean or things like that too, we also want to check them for that too.
Yeah.
Because that also is kind of like giving that connotation that anyone who is living with an STI, it's dirty or like it's just
And
not
it's
something
not.
desirable. And yeah, that isn't true. So we want to make sure that we also check that too when we are talking to people.
Definitely.
Yeah, it can be very harmful language sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Every time. I'm not dirty. Well, you're not dirty for having an STI, but you may be dirty if you don't wash your drawers.
That's what I was going to say.
No, that's dirty. Like actually not washing your
Or if you don't change your condoms. Like, that's dirty.
Or your sheets.
Okay.
Can we talk about it?
No, but great men don't have a black sheet to change though.
Or if you don't pee after sex, please go pee after sex.
That-
Pee after
that's
sex,
dirty,
wash
but-
your sheets after sex, like all
Please.
that. Like it's
Do not sleep on them same sheets.
Okay, so we're talking about post sex. What about pre-sex? Like, what are some things that we do to kind of warm up for sex, or like things that keep us safe? Like we know are going to keep us safe for sex.
Things we're gonna keep her safe, or just things in general we do before sex.
I mean, both.
Both.
Both of them.
Oh,
Hold on.
well, it depends on what I'm doing in bed. Because let's keep it real.
Okay.
As a queer man, anal sex is a thing.
Yeah.
So obviously making sure that area is clean and, making sure that everything looks right, smells right, is right. Or even if I'm on the other side, making sure that everything over here smells right, looks right.
Yes.
Because it's a courtesy thing in my opinion, and it can be a hygienic thing as well.
Mhm.
As far as like stuff I just do before sex in general, foreplay is nice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta, warm up the juices, get them flowing before anything happens.
Please do.
Oh yeah. Put on a nice movie. Rose.
That's a Netflix.
All right, the Netflix. No, go Disney
Very
Plus.
intricate.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
She moved it.
Verizon gave it to me for free.
Come on, Verizon.
But yeah, I mean, definitely. I just like to set the mood. Warm everything up. Have a conversation, and then make it do what it do.
Okay. Like it's like a slow like build up to it.
That's-
Okay.
Come on,
It sounds a little bit like mine. You prep yourself, scrubs and stuff like that. Make sure you smell nice
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Moisturize, because you can't be out here looking ashy.
Alligator ladies.
It's not cute.
Scratching people.
Okay. So I'm out here nice and moisturized. Foreplay, obviously. What else do I do?
See, I gotta think on it.
No, like it depends. It really does depend on the situation. Sometimes I take vitamins, like to enhance the experience.
Yeah.
I do. I engage in that. Sometimes I use toys to enhance the experience.
Come on,
Sometimes,
toys.
yeah,
Toys,
like I prep
yeah.
myself. Sometimes, it really does depend. Am I going to go for a long session? Am I going for a shorter session?
Yeah.
For the shorter session, I prep myself first. I prep myself before I get there. Come twice or so before I get there.
Yeah.
To make sure that the experience is great for myself
Mhm.
and the other person.
Ooh.
Also, I foreplay, massages,
Ooh.
lighting,
Like,
music, set the mood. Make it an
I need-
experience for yourself and your
I
partner.
need my pen.
You know,
Just something about-
you vibe. You create a vibe for yourself because it's an experience that you can have with multiple people. It's an experience that you can have with one person and make it special.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want to do. You can have fun with it, play games, dress up, wear a mask. It's COVID, so we trying to be
No,
protected.
I'm so happy that you mentioned toys too, because toys are not a threat.
They're
They are
not.
your
Or
friend.
not.
Bring them
They're your
in
best
the room.
friend.
Bring them.
And we sell them here, so a little shout out.
I don't know about y'all, but I hit that age where I gotta stretch before.
Yes, I forgot that, but You do need.
No, but like it's embarrassing as hell when like somebody's like, go ahead and ride me, and by the time you hit that position, your knees go clank clank. Like I don't want my knees to be out here sounding like the bike rack as soon as it hits my ankle. Like
Sounds
it's
like a gun going off.
sound like the bubble wrap you play with. Like it ain't cute, especially like no. Like the worst part is like I had a sexual experience. Like okay, I ain't gonna lie, he folded me like a pretzel. The problem was he was like, hold your legs. I tried to hold my legs and I caught a cramp. It says.
Steve, I just like.
Hold on. So I'm like, yo, it hurts. It hurts. He's like, yeah, it hurt good. I know it hurt bad.
I'm
Like,
literally in physical pain.
Okay, so wait, you needed a safe word, thing.
I needed a safe word. I mean, like at that time, I was not as experienced as I am now, and honestly, please stretch. Go get your hamstrings done. Like hit that lunge right quick for 20
Honestly,
seconds.
No, y'all can stretch together. Make it sexy. Do a little yoga together. Downward dog.
Like naked
stretch it
yoga,
out.
like
Yeah.
stretching.
See, naked yoga
Make
go
it
end up
twisted
in
together.
downward doggy style at that point. I just got to get that pre-stretch. Like even the calf, like just a good. You don't want your toes crackling in front of him. Just like.
So
Like,
stretch,
little
lots of potassium, eat some bananas possibly to help with the calves.
Lots of water, too.
Lots
Drink
of water.
lots of
Stay
water.
Drink a lot of
hydrated.
water.
You never had a tap out for a water break?
Yeah, that's why I keep it right beside my bed now. That case of water I keep outside my bed, that's why I keep it there.
Oh, and drink water before you get oral. Don't nobody like sandpaper tongue. You'll be moaning and everything, and next, by the time you go down, it's just like a pencil sharpener at that point. Just
First and
like,
foremost, if your tongue feels like that, you need to go get something seen about.
my point exactly.
Brush it.
Drink some water, moisturize your throat, because sometimes when you moan, there's a lot of air coming out.
Cotton mouth
Maybe a
is a
piece
thing,
of your
yeah.
soul, but just moisturize your
Pieces
throat.
of your soul.
Hey, some people got that ability. I'm just saying.
Okay, I also thank you all for that. Oh my gosh, no, I also want to talk more about the blunt space too. So I also wanted to see like what future projects do you all have coming up for the blunt space? Because I know you all do different things. So are there any like different projects that you have going on?
Of course, we're gonna look towards me because that's the creator.
I could, but you know.
I mean, I might as well.
I'm just gonna keep on
We
looking
definitely
back for
are.
somebody answers.
We definitely are planning a lot more open mics. We definitely just had our Connect and Collect event, which was back in November. We're planning to make it bigger, better, and to even like plan some things with USF. We have our workshops going on. Me and Cadin, we're actually part of the Iconic House of Ninja, and we're actually trying to plan a little something in possibly September. Stay tuned, because I'm not going to speak anything out yet before it's released, but it's definitely going to be a bomb collab. And yeah, we actually are planning we're actually bringing back our real loud stuff. Open mic.
Real loud open mic.
It's real loud open mic.
Ish, because Sugar and Ice Tea, we can't say that out loud, but Real Loud Open Mic is going to be coming back virtual platform because you have people who are still going through the motions of COVID, and not everybody's able to get out the house. Yeah. So we're gonna put it back on our virtual platform, and hopefully we'll be able to put it onto a in-person venue soon, and maybe even do it a little bit throughout the Tampa Bay and Central Florida area. We might not know, but those are the events that we have so far that we're planning, and it's going to be a movie.
Yeah, big plans for 2022.
Oh yeah,
2022 owed me 2019 and 2020. So
Yeah.
Listen, let's just hope 2022 isn't 2020 part 2.
so what we not going to do that.
We're not gonna speak it out. Let me knock on some wood
We
first.
gonna knock on wood.
I was like, I don't know if it is, but it's cute.
I don't know, Marion out here just stomping on people's lungs now.
Not Omari.
NYC, yeah. Omari.
COVID out here pledging. Alpha Phi Omega.
But I
Alpha
think
Delta Delta.
we kind of talked or touched on this already, based off the personality so far.
Yeah.
But what's something fun you want our listeners to know about the blunt space?
Well, something that we definitely,
I mean, go ahead. You already know. Sorry.
oh yeah, something really different about our organization is how we don't really filter our artists. We want our artists to come and be their full authentic selves and bring that to the table, and not necessarily produce stuff that's tied to stuff that they stereotypically would have to do. Like one of the biggest things that we wanted to do was create space for marginalized artists to really channel their art into things that are outside of the circumference that people expect them to do. I mean, we as Black or queer or, Latino artists love talking about that, but not necessarily all the time. I mean, I feel like it puts us into a box and it silos us.
Mhm.
We created this organization to break that silo. On top of that, represent all of those that are like us, to really just come and turn it the fuck out. We're some of the most talented people in the world.
Mhm.
Not only us, but I meant our community. I know my Leo's coming out,
Not just
but
yeah.
but yeah, that's one of the biggest things we want people to take away from our organization. We are a safe space. We are a haven. We are here to give resources to those who need it.
Sweet. And how did you all come up with the blunt space? Like, where did it start? Like, where was the inception?
And here goes the creator. Actually, it started up, honestly, if we're going to rewind it back when me and Cadin were back in college, we actually used to joke around, like, maybe one day we'll, like, create a nonprofit, and, like, maybe one day Judy will give us a name. That's the president of USF back then. Love you, Mr. Genshaw. Please don't get me. We wanted the name of our building, like, what if we had to kill this? A small building because we did this nonprofit and it took off, and we, like, joked about it. And then, of course, COVID, and then the police brutality movements with George Floyd and all that took off. And at that time, I kind of actually, I'm not going to lie, I quit my job, and I ended up creating the Blunt Space in April originally as a publishing company to publish things like Cadin said, for people who aren't always in the forefront of the library, because of course you have a lot of queer artists, Black artists, but at the same time we only get pulled out when it's that time of the month like June or February, or when another person of color is on the front page news for something that isn't, awarding. So I wanted to create that publishing company, and eventually Cadin came on board and was like, yeah, this could be something more. And Dom came in, and then our other staff members, Choya, and everybody else started coming in, and they just started formulating. And when our brains just started coming together, it just spawned into this nonprofit that it is today. And honestly, I did not even think or believe that we would get this far if it wasn't for them.
And it's just starting. Like, I even was looking at your website the other day, and I saw all the artists here in the Tampa Bay area, and even people outside of Tampa and other states and parts of the world. So it's really cool what you started, and I'm excited to see what else you do with it too, because it's going to be awesome.
I am too.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming at times because I will be completely honest. When we first did this, there was a whole 5-year plan and yada, yada, yada. And then we started getting hit with inquiries for specific things. And I'm like, sis, we didn't plan on doing a lot of this stuff until later on. But I'm like, opportunity is opportunity. Let's make it happen.
Okay. It wasn't even a year, and then we ended up getting a workshop book with University of South Florida. And not many people think that's a big deal, but when you think about it, it's that's a preeminent university that's top 5 in Florida.
Top 3.
Top 3 in Florida. And that's not many nonprofits out there that that get booked like that right off the bat, especially when it's not even hitting a year yet.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention our public events that we had. We had she mentioned our event at 7th and Grove.
Our event here.
Oh, and our event here that we did with y'all.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier today, yeah.
Uh-huh. And we did another one with Essence Nutrition. We did a whole open mic festival over there. So it's been a really fast-tracked ride. That just proves that we are needed.
Yeah.
There's a huge need for our as an organization.
That's a big hole, and we're here to fill it. No pun intended.
Pun intended, sis.
Yeah. You heard it here first. And with your events that you guys have coming up soon, in the next coming year, how do you think these events can provide a space for people to think creatively about HIV and sexual health in general?
Well, I can.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Baby, finish what you started.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so definitely one of the biggest things we do is actually one of our online things we do. We call our series. Basically, we release a chain of artworks, whether that be audio, visual, or just anything revolving around it, around a specific topic. In December, we do this every year. It's called Ho 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 season. We essentially, every Saturday, release artworks dedicated to sexual empowerment, sexual education, and sexual health, and we all do it through art platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually release a podcast. Well, this December we released a podcast every Saturday. We actually had a lot of nude artists submit art to us, and we've been releasing that too. And we do different advocacy posts, just everything revolving around that, building it around art and educating people at the same time is our top priority during this particular month. We do it every month with different topics, but that's our main thing that's like dedicated to sexual health, which is really cool that we're doing this because I'm like, that's actually going on right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's like perfect.
We can like plug it in. Yeah, because I actually was featured on their podcast that they released this month as well. And it was actually really fun, definitely a fun, raunchy time. And I honestly, I had to like catch my breath off cam because I was laughing so much. But please check out their website too to listen to it because it's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
BOUNT is actually very much fictional because we do have our characters. Like we have our characters that we exacerbate. And honestly, some people are just like, oh my gosh, these are real stories. And like, maybe they are, some of them are not.
Maybe in a different multiverse.
Actually.
But I mean, they may not be real for us, but for some people in the world, I'm sure. I mean, there's 7 billion of us and counting. I'm sure it happened to somebody at some point.
Oh yeah. Ooh, something I forgot. Also at our public facing events, the one we do in the community, at Collect to Collect, we had actually HIV testing at that event as well. That's something also that we try to integrate with every event that we do, just so there's that there as well. The representation's there.
Because we get nasty at events. We talk about sex. We talk about, we talk about us.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that people are safe.
Yeah. And if you ever need anyone to go out and do some testing, let me know. Because I'll bring the van out. I will.
Okay, come on, man.
And I also want to switch it over to our Haikuchi segment if we could. I'm excited. So whenever we were planning this podcast, we were thinking of like, what can we do for segments? And since they are poets and writers and creative people, we're like, oh, why don't we do a segment called Haikuchi where we write a haiku about the female anatomy, genitalia, all that stuff. So I'm really excited. I want to read mine first because I'm sure y'all are way better than mine. So let's see.
I don't know. They're the writers. I'm like numbers first.
So when we talk about a haiku, it is a small poem where it's 5 syllables followed by 7 and then ended with 5 syllables. So mine is, time to let her loose, jam out with your clam out, sis, why keep her boxed up?
Oh,
I like that. Okay.
Are you trying to be recruited inside of the Ball Space Writing Club?
Honestly, yeah. Simon, give me a t-shirt.
T-shirts kind
let
of
me send you a link real quick.
Do you want to read
Merchandise.
Choya's? Choya couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, but she did. She did send her haiku to me, and it's actually really funny. I just can't read it though.
Oh,
I'm glad you know.
Choya.
Okay.
This coochie so fat. She gonna go on a diet and steal your Negro.
Of course, you let a person from Queens write a haikuchi.
Of course. It's, we love you, Choya. I mean, since I read hers, you want to jump straight to you and I go last?
Yeah, go ahead, do that.
Yeah, I always want to put the phone on blast. I be sucking dick. I be eating coochie too. Now, I'll devour you.
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
nice. That's all. I love that
I
one.
like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Let me see.
All right, so mine is thinking of your touch. Leaves puddles on my desk chair.
Oh.
I should have wore pants.
Come on, desk chair.
Yes. Damn, y'all saw a lot more raunchy than mine.
Did that chair come from Staples or did it come from Office Max?
Amazon.
Come on.
I got mine from Walmart. Okay, I feel like this one is like really me. Anyone that knows me knows that this is me. So it's not as raunchy, but it's me. Sex is amazing.
This is.
Orgasms orient, but that bank accounts hit.
Come on.
Yes.
Get that bread,
I
get
felt
that man,
that.
and leave.
I felt that. It was simple. I like.
And the last thing I wanted to do as well with this is we're trying to end with this segment called Just the Tip, where we leave our viewers with sexual health advice. And it could be something very simple. It doesn't have to be anything super extensive. And I always like to say that spit is not lube. It should never be used as lube. I mean, spit's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's really fun. But it shouldn't be the only thing you use as lube. There's water-based. There's silicone-based. Do not use oils. Do not use foods. Stay away from the Hershey's chocolate syrup. Do not use butter. Do not use coconut oil. Use water and silicone-based.
Please do not use canola.
Or
do
lotion.
not. Like,
Or lotion.
or
Or
lotion. Please do not use lotion. Like,
Or
just
cocoa
use
butter.
water-based or silicone-based. Spit's fun, but just mix it with other things too.
Don't use shea butter, please.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, I would say so. What tips off the top of your head could you give our viewers?
Be yourself in bed. No need to put on. Listen, if you want to scream and shout and act a whole ass and ooh,
It's okay.
be yourself in bed. Trust me, sex is a lot more fun when you're comfortable.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
All right. Well, going with that, the one that came in my head was communicate
Oh,
during the act of sex. If you do not like something, say it then. It's okay. And you don't have to say it like in a rude way. You can be like, oh, not there, make it sexy. But communicate during sex, because if you cannot reach orgasm, it's because y'all not talking to each other. That's really what it is.
Bless.
Y'all need to communicate with your body, with your voice, especially, but communicate during sex.
special message to the straights.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're not gonna do is attack the hetero community. Considering that fact, I kind of borderline. Let me stop.
It's okay.
But definitely, do not be afraid to explore. Like, if you've been doing missionary and doggy style all your life, switch it up. Like, go to the side. Like, do it on the couch. Maybe, if you are a voyeurist, exhibitionist, or any of the sorts, explore the kinks. Talk to your partner.
Try the Amazon position.
Listen, I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun. And I might just explore it like tonight or tomorrow or the next few days, because Christmas is coming and I'm trying to see what's underneath my chimney. Let me stop.
You gonna get that auntie position that we saw online?
Yeah,
You have to get her rent paid.
Okay, listen. Even if it's not just positions, like just sex toys, certain types of temperature play, foreplay. Hell, maybe your girl or your boy or your partner is into stuff with plants. I don't know. There's some people who get turned on by a cactus. I don't know why, but there's some people who explore that type of stuff.
Okay.
Explore and figure it out. Your body is just so full of amazing things. You might not know. You might get turned on because Dr. Brown has just been opening up all your pores. I don't know. Just try it.
I'm not the one. Is that peppermint castor?
So,
Yeah, that's
so I guess explore your kinks is what we're saying. And before we go, I just want to say thank you again for sharing everything you all shared today. It was really fun and I laughed a bunch. And I'm sure everybody at home watching too really enjoyed it too. I saw Miss Julia jumping around. So that was funny. But don't be afraid to come out and see us next month. So the third Friday of every month, we try to have these podcasts here live. So if you'd like to be here live and watch us here talking about all these things, you can easily do that at Inclusivity. And if you want to just come check out Inclusivity for a cup of coffee or tea or buy a toy or check out some of the things that we have here, or come get tested by me, we offer here every Tuesday through Thursday from 12 to 9 and Friday and Saturday from 12 to 10.
Okay. Come on, testing.
Yeah. But otherwise, thank you guys again for joining me today.
Of course. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook,
Yes.
and LinkedIn. It's
Plug
the
yourself.
Blunt Space Inc. or just the Blunt Space. Yeah. Did I miss anything? Oh, our website. Oh,
Oh yes, please promote the website and the Cash App. So, as a nonprofit,
ain't no profit.
so please donate $1. It'll make us holler. If you donate $5, I'll let you hit that. Let me stop. Just
go
donate.
online, baby.
We got $ Blunt Space. That's our Cash App. We also got PayPal. It's also on our website, which is www.theblunt.space. I promise you, it has nothing to do with marijuana. But if you bought that life, that's your business.
And yeah, and they share a lot of local art and their own personal art too. And you also will hear our podcast on there as well, the one that we did earlier this month. So please check it out and see you next time.
Please stay moisturized and stretch.
Moisturize and stretch.
Moisturize and stretch, like my curls.